Yes, people. Now we will revise the chapter in which we will be discussing TDS, TCS, and the advanced tax. So we will be learning three topics in this chapter. First one, TDS, tax deducted at source. I've just made one small chart here to explain the complete concept of TDS. Guys, let me take a role of payer. Now assume I am supposed to pay you 10 lakh rupees. I'm supposed to pay you 10 lakh rupees on which TDS is applicable. Sir, for which expenses TDS is applicable and all, we will cover it later. Now assume whatever I am paying you 10 lakh, on that TDS is applicable. I am supposed to deduct 10% TDS. Now, how will I know whether I am supposed to deduct TDS or not? I should have a knowledge of TDS provisions. There are various sections which covers different types of expenses, which tells if you make so and so expenses or payments to the following people, then if it is more than 30,000, 1 lakh, 2 lakh 50 and all, which we call it as threshold limit, then deduct the TDS at the respective rates. Where is this given? Under the respective section. So you guys have to know what is the nature of payment, who should be the payer, who should be the payee, what is the threshold limit, if it is crossed, at what rate TDS has to be deducted. We will take care of it little later. Now, sir, assume for my expenses I am supposed to deduct TDS at 10%. So what am I supposed to do? I have to deduct TDS 10%. How much it comes to 1 lakh and pay you only remaining 9 lakh. I have to pay only remaining 9 lakh to you guys. Now you will receive from me 9 lakh. But how much you earned from me? 10 lakh. So for you, what is the income, guys? What is the income? 9 lakh or 10 lakh? 10 lakh. You have to always consider gross income, not the amount of income after TDS, but before TDS. Sir, TDS you deducted 1 lakh, I didn't get it. No, you didn't get it. But it is as if you have paid tax to the government. Now, from your final tax liability, assume your final tax liability is around 15 lakh. From that, you will reduce 1 lakh, whatever TDS has been deducted by me, and I would have remitted to the government. Yeah, so government has already got 1 lakh revenue on behalf of you. So can you take a credit of it? Yes, you can take a credit of it. Okay. Now me, whatever 1 lakh I will deduct, what will I do? I will put it to my pocket? No, I have to remit it to the government, guys, on or before 7th of next month. Assume I have deducted TDS on any day of February. I have to remit it to the government on or before 7th March. Any day of February, you have to remit it to government on or before 7th of next month. And this is monthly. Sir, also I have to file with the government or department TDS quarterly returns, giving the details of in this 3 months, quarter will have 3 months. In this 3 months, what all payments I made, for whom and all I made, that is the payee. We call you guys as payee. Now, what all payments I have made you, and what is your PAN number? How much TDS I deducted? On what day did I deduct? And what day I am remitting it to the government? All these details I have to give it in the quarterly returns, which is form 24Q, 26Q, and 27Q. 24Q is for the TDS deducted on salary. 26Q is the TDS deducted for resident payee any payment other than salary. Then 27Q is for the TDS deducted on non-residents for any payment other than salary. Whereas for salary deducted both on resident payee as well as non-resident payee is covered under which return? 24Q, guys. And it has to be filed quarterly. Sir, is this the income tax return? No, no, no. Income tax return has to be filed annually. Whereas the TDS is only for the purpose of TDS deducted and remitted to the government, which has to be filed quarterly by whom? Payer. Then, done with this. Then payer should also give proof to the payee because payee has to claim a credit of this 1 lakh. Na? Yes, for that he has to have some proof. It will be auto credited to him, okay, on his income tax profile. But still, the payer has to give a proof to the payee telling, sir, 1 lakh I have deducted from your income and I have remitted to the government on so and so date. We call it as TDS certificate. That will be issued in the form of 16 or 16 AA or 16 single A by payer to payee. Now, payer totally has how much responsibilities? First, he has to deduct TDS, then remit it to the government, then file TDS quarterly returns and issue TDS certificates to the payee. Who is paying in my example? You guys. Who is paying? Me. Yes, sir. Now, as a payer, definitely I will be having my own business. Sir, I have my own business. Now you are asking me to follow so many things. How will I do, sir? Payer, what if I don't do it? Payer, what if I don't do it? Then you are treated as assessee in default. Means me, in my example. Payer is treated as assessee in default if it doesn't comply with TDS provision. That is, if it doesn't deduct, or else deduct but not remit it to the government within the due date. Then assessee will be treated in default. Whatever loss of revenue is there to the government due to TDS non-deduction, payer has to make it good, along with interest and penalty. Moreover, over and above this, under the head PGBP, we have learned as per section 40A1 or 40A1A, expenditure is disallowed. If the payment is made to a resident payee, if this guy, you guys are residents, then 40A1 will tell, sorry, 40A1A will tell 30% of the expenditure is disallowed. If TDS is not deducted or deducted but not remitted within the due date of filing the returns. Filing the returns, guys. Just so. Then, if you guys assume you are a non-resident or a foreign company, or else the payment is made outside India. In that case, if I am not deducted TDS or deducted but not remitted to the government within the due date of filing the returns, then it will be 100% disallowed as per section 40A1. There is one more section that is for salary paid outside India, 40A3, which tells if TDS is not deducted or is deducted but not remitted to the government within due date of TDS, within the due date of TDS, then it is permanently disallowed. Permanently disallowed. Where is it given, sir? 40A3. This is the salary payable to a non-resident or outside India, guys. Yes. Now, so at least to escape from all this, what should payer do? He has to comply with TDS provisions. So many companies will have a separate team altogether for TDS compliance. For TDS compliance, because day in day out they will be making number of payments. So we have to check under which section it will fall, how much TDS has to be deducted, when it has to be remitted, and they have to file TDS returns and all. So all this compliance is not so easy. So that is where the professionals play a major role. So for every business officials or professionals, they will be in need of the experts who have a knowledge of taxation, guys. Okay, now let us get into, sir, when for what payment TDS has to be deducted and at what rate? And at what rate? Now you may ask me, sir, are we supposed to remember the section number, rates and all? Yes, guys. So section number, rate, the threshold limit, payer, payee. See here, I have not given everything in detail. Means in the columns I am telling you. But whatever is very important from exam point of view, I have covered it, guys, in this simplified table. Though, so you don't skip this also. Sir, this column I didn't like, sir. Sir, this column I didn't like, sir. So I will skip. No, no, no. Please don't do it, guys. Yes, sure. We'll start with it. Section 192 asks every employer to deduct TDS on the salary paid on both resident as well as non-resident employees. Sir, what is the threshold limit? Basic exemption limit. Guys, it will happen like this. Every year at the beginning, employer will ask the employee to submit the details. Anyway, employer will already know what is the salary he will be paying to employee. But if employee has any investments for which he is willing to claim deductions, or if he has any other income like interest or maybe house property income, he can submit the details to whom? Employer. Based on this, the employer will calculate the total income of the employee, calculate the tax liability of the employee as per the optional scheme or default scheme, whichever the employee is willing to follow. And whatever tax liability, assume guys the tax liability of the employee comes to 12 lakh. So what does the employee do is, he will apply whatever is the rate applicable to the employee, that is slab rates. He will divide it by 12 months. How much it will come to? 1 lakh. So every month out of the salary of the employee, 1 lakh TDS would be deducted. So 1 lakh TDS, maybe salary is in huge. Clear? So every month TDS would be deducted from the salary, 1 lakh. Clear? And few employees also deduct it quarterly and all if they have obtained the permission from the government. It depends. Is that clear? Yes, sir. But here there is no fixed rate. Average rate of tax means what? That's simple. Assume the 12 lakh tax liability we got now. So what is the total income of the employee? Let us take it as 30 lakh. I'm just taking random figure. Don't ask me how 30 out well and all. So what is the average rate of tax? 12 lakh divided by 30 lakh. 12 lakh is the final tax liability. 30 lakh is the total income into 100. We will get what? On an average, what is the tax which the employee is supposed to pay? How much it is coming to? Quickly. Hello. 40%. 40% ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗೋದು. One second. Highest tax rate ಅಷ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ. So let us take it as 26 lakh. Oh, sorry. Just a minute. Just I will make it 35. 35. 30? ಅದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ 40 ಮತ್ತೆ 30. 30. Exactly 30. Okay, take it because slab rates means it has to vary, guys. It has to come within 30% because only in excess of 15 lakh or 10 lakh you will pay 30%. But still, we are taking just for learning purpose. On an average, is paying 30% tax. And please be careful, 12%, 12 lakh, whatever I would have calculated is including the health and education system and all. Yes, sir. On an average, 30% tax is what employee is paying. So every month, what employer will do is out of whatever salary is paying, 30% he will deduct as a TDS, guys. Clear? Yes. And this, whatever calculation and all I am explaining in detail is not covered for you in your intermediate syllabus, guys. Next, coming to 192. Premature withdrawal from employees provident fund. If the amount is more than 50,000, TDS is 10%. When? At the time of payment. Both 192 as well as 192A, both are at the time of payment, guys. And here, sir, what in 192? What if employee's salary is less than 3 lakh or less than basic exemption limit? Or even if he is eligible for rebate, will the employer deduct TDS? No. If employee is not liable to pay tax, his total income or salary income is less than basic exemption limit or less than rebate limit, then employer will not deduct any TDS, guys. Okay. So this too, TDS has to be deducted at the time of payment. But most of the section will tell TDS has to be deducted at the time of payment or at the time of credit, whichever is earlier. Sir, what is the meaning of this? Guys, listen here. Assume I am paying one expenditure. I am paying it immediately. Expenditure amount is like 1 lakh, you consider. So what is the entry I will pass? Expenditure to bank. How much, guys? Whatever is the amount, 1 lakh or 2 lakh or 10 lakh, whatever is. Immediately I will pass the entry. Assume this entry is passed on 1st October. When I am supposed to deduct TDS? 1st October. When should I remit it? On or before 7th November. Hope you guys are clear it. Okay, this is the date of payment. Yes, sir. Next. Date of payment is done. Next, sir, I am entering into a credit transaction. I have incurred expenditure but not paying immediately. Now listen. So date of entry, payment entry, 1st October. Expenses, not payment entry, expenditure entry. Expenses to, assume I am supposed to pay you. Okay, your name is Subba. Okay. Expenses to what? Subba. I am supposed to pay to Subba? Yes. So Subba is what is for me? Liability. Until I pay. This is the expenses I have booked. When am I paying? Assume I am paying it on 10th November. What is the expense? What is the entry, payment entry? Subba to bank. Subba to bank. Liability got cancelled. Payment entry. Date of payment. So if it's a credit transaction where I have booked the expenditure first, making the payment later. When am I supposed to deduct TDS? At the time of payment or at the time of expense booking? Whichever is earlier. Whichever is earlier. The word what they have used is at the time of credit. To whom? Payee. I am giving credit to the account of payee in my books on what day? 1st October. Or the date of payment. When am I crediting bank? That is the date of payment. Whichever is earlier. Whichever is earlier. Guys, now listen. Look at the beauty. I am supposed to deduct TDS, whichever is earlier, 1st October or 10th November, whichever is earlier. Which is the date? 1st October. 1st October, sir. Now I have not yet made the payment. Now I have to remit it to the government on or before 7th November TDS. But till 7th November also I have not made payment. What should I do? I have to remit it to the government out of my own pocket. And on 10th November, when I make the payment to you, I have to deduct TDS and put it to my pocket. This is what the adjustment will be done. Is it legal, sir? Yes. Clear, because government cannot wait. You can wait, your Subba can wait, but not government. Clear? So I have already booked the expenses in October. I am supposed to remit it to the government. Government should get their revenue on or before 7th November. If I have not yet made the payment on or before 7th November, government is telling give out of your pocket. Later you collect it or deduct it from the pay. Is that clear? Yes, sir. Clear? Yes. Sure. So because most of the entry or most of the section talk about this, guys. Date of payment or date of credit, whichever is earlier. Guys, come on. What is date of credit? You will get confused. Sir, credit to bank account? No, no. Credit in my books of accounts to whose account? Subha's account, who is paying. Or the date of payment, whichever is earlier. Okay, so coming back. Coming. 193. Interest on securities. When TDS has to be deducted? If the payment is more than 10,000 for 8% or 7.75% savings taxable bonds, or more than 5,000 for interest on debentures paid by public company to whom the investor, that is the debenture holder, is resident individual or HUF, and the payment is made through account pay check. In any other case, there is no threshold. Even if 10 rupees payment is made, interest TDS has to be deducted. In any other case, only in two cases there is a limit, guys. In any other case, the threshold limit is 0. And what is the TDS rate? 10%. When TDS has to be deducted at the time of credit or payment, whichever is early. Now listen, guys. Most of the sections has threshold limits. Majority of the section, and this threshold means what? Assume, guys, here threshold limit 5,000 is there. If I pay 4,000, should I deduct TDS? No. If I pay 6,000, should I deduct TDS? Yes, on entire 6,000. On entire 6,000. Is that clear? Means wherever the payment crosses the threshold limit, on the entire amount TDS has to be deducted, not only on the excess part. There are one or two sections which talks about only TDS on excess amount. There I will stress on it. Until then, all other section wherever we will be learning threshold limit. If you cross threshold limit on the entire amount, TDS has to be deducted. Okay, sir. Then section 194 talks about dividend. Dividend paid by a company, guys. If the shareholder is an individual shareholder, then the threshold limit is more than 5,000. If any other shareholder, no threshold limit. TDS at 10% at the time of credit or payment, whichever is earlier. Then section 193 covered only interest on securities. What about other interests, sir? Covered under 194A. Interest other than interest on securities, like interest on loan, deposits and all. What is the threshold limit, sir? More than 40,000 in a financial year. In case of interest is paid by bank, cooperative society, post office. And if the pay is a resident senior citizen, how much is the threshold limit? 50,000. They have tried to connect to 80 TTB because there they can claim deduction up to 50,000 now. So here they have increased. The normal limit is 40. But if the account holder is a resident senior citizen, they told 50. 50,000 is the limit. Now one more thing, sir, if it crosses 50, entire amount is liable for TDS, huh? Yes. Okay. More than 5,000 in a financial year in all other cases. That is, if I am paying interest to you or you are paying to me, are we a bank or post office or cooperative bank? No, sir. Guys, what is the rate of TDS? 10%. When TDS has to be deducted, credit or payment, whichever is earlier. Now listen, important. If the payer is a bank, cooperative society and post office, TDS they will deduct. But if payee is bank, cooperative bank or post office, no TDS. If the receiver is the bank or the cooperative society or cooperative bank or post office, no TDS, guys. No TDS. For example, sir, I have taken the loan from the bank. I am paying interest to the bank. Should I deduct TDS? No, need not. Now I have kept the deposits in the bank. Bank is paying me the interest. Should they deduct the TDS? Yes, they will deduct the TDS. Okay. Easy to remember, guys. Section 193, 194 and 194A all talks about income on investments. Income on investments. So what is the TDS rate? 10%. 10%. Okay. Next, 194B, BA and BB talks about gambling or betting income, casual income. Guys, this B has some connection with casual income. This B has some connection with casual income, correct? Hello. See, 115 BB or 115 BBJ covers casual income. What is the tax rate? 30%. Now under TDS chapter, they're telling under section 194B or BA or BB, the payer who is paying casual income should deduct TDS 30%. Sir, actual tax rate also is 30%, TDS rate is also 30%. Yes, even government don't believe you because by the time in the assessment year, you will not be having your money. Once in a while you have earned it as a casual income, lottery winnings, anything. Even government is pretty sure that you will not have this amount completely in the assessment year. So they're asking payer, please deduct entire 30% as TDS. Easy to remember. 115BB, BBJ connected with TDS sections 194B, BA, BB. All this talks about revolving around what, guys? Casual income. After B, what will come? C. Betting. Try to remember like this. Betting. One of the form covered here. Okay. Let us see. They have made three sections. I don't feel any sense in that. They would have simply told one section, casual income, TDS rate 30%. Okay. Sumne more section. Burden for us. Casual income other than horse race. Why, sir? Horse race is covered under BB. Okay. More than 10,000 if you have paid, TDS deducted to be at 30% at the time of payment. Sir, what if it is winnings from horse race? BB. Let us go to BB. More than 10,000, TDS 30% at the time of payment. Sir, what is the difference? Same. Only they have covered in two different sections. Threshold limit to TDS rate to when TDS has to be deducted. Everything is same. I don't know what sense it made for the government to make it as two different sections. Okay. Next, BA, winnings from online games, BBJ. Even for casual income on online games, we have a separate section. Here also they have put a separate section. Okay. On the net winnings in a person's user account, 30% is the TDS. At the end of the financial year, TDS has to be deducted. Or if the player is withdrawing the money in between the year from the account, then TDS has to be deducted at the time of withdrawal. Guys, see why government is charging 30% tax is no person has become rich by having casual income. Sir, you would have heard a lot of story. That person won lottery, this person won that, this and all. See, the main problem is when they got money, everyone wishes, ಅಯ್ಯೋ ನಂಗೆ ಲಾಟ್ರಿ ಹೊಡೆದ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಅದಾಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಇದಾಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. When they get the money, they fail to manage it well. They fail to manage it well. Even I have seen some stories who have won crores together in Kaun Banega KBC. Okay, but now they don't have anything with them. Why? All of the sudden, when they saw money so much, they couldn't manage it. They couldn't take it easily. Clear. So that is why it is very important for us to understand how do we manage the money. Sir, earning the money everyone will do. Who will not do? After we cross a certain age, everyone has to work, everyone has to earn. That is what our school and academics have taught us. That is, sir, once why are we studying? Why are we working so hard? Because I have to qualify. Once I qualify, what do I do? Join for a work, start earning. So earning everyone has taught. So we know that this is our cycle. Sir, once we cross this age, once we qualify, we have to join for a job, we have to work. But many a times where we have failed is we have failed to understand how do we manage the money. Now, even if I am getting 10,000 or 1 lakh per month, we should be very careful in managing the money. If you don't manage your money well, then you may turn out to be a bankrupt or else you will be keep on working until you die, guys. That is what we have seen in our previous generations and all. Even at the time of retirement, they would have not settled. I'm not talking about everyone, few people. Even at the time of retirement, they would have not settled financially. Why? During their work tenure, they didn't plan well. Sir, their salary is only this much, that much, doesn't matter. Even if you are earning 20,000, at least 10 to 20% of that money you can save. And if you save, invest for your better future, then once you retire or if there is any emergency, you will be independent still. You need not depend on anyone. So as a youth, you guys plan in such a way that once you retire, and retirement, don't plan to retire at 60. We don't know whether we will be there at 60 or not. Now life expectancy is very short. So try to retire as early as possible. And anganta people ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. So few people will tell, sir, I will start working at 25, retire at 30. If possible, great. Okay, if not, don't be a burden for your parents again. Clear? So if you can manage, because yes, in 5-10 years also, can I make the money for my rest of my life? Yes, if possible, you make it very good. Clear? But even after retire, will I sit idle 100% at home? No, you will be working, but at your freedom. You will not be working for money. You will be just working for leisure. or maybe as your passion. Yeah. So that pressure should not be there. That is what happens. Now you would have seen in your parents or maybe your neighbors or relatives. They all are going for a job, even they don't like. But why? Sir, salary. Sir, how do I manage my life? How do I manage my family? Clear. So we should choose a career or path where we enjoy the working also. Along with our working, we will also earn. Definitely we will earn. We will not freely work for anything. So in that case, so you guys also, you will have that liberty, guys. Once you qualify, you have options for various fields. Now you choose a field or career path which is more suitable for you. Now, if you ask me, sir, which is that, you only know it. I like teaching, I came to teaching. Now I cannot tell you, you also come to teaching. Clear. So you may choose something else, practice or corporate. In corporate, multiple areas are there. Whichever you feel. And sir, how will I know? By the time you pass finals, you will have an idea in which area you are passionate about. Clear. So by then you would be matured enough also because you would have completed your articleship. In your articleship also, you would have worked. You would have enjoyed working in few areas. You can choose that as your career. And chartered accountant has a bright future, guys. Clear. Not even a single chartered accountant will be sitting at home unemployed. Maybe some of them might not be happy with their salary, package, or maybe the work, but any day they have that freedom to switch. Because we are the all rounders. We have a knowledge of every subject accounts, audit, tax, law, SM, FM, whatever it is. Almost everything, sir. I can choose one small area. TDS can I choose, sir? Yes. FEMA can I choose, sir? Yes. International taxation can I choose, sir? Yes. Only direct tax, sir? Yes. Only indirect tax, sir? Yes. There are many areas where you can build your life on. So please find out that. Now many students also will tell me. So when I am talking to them, sir, I am doing CA for my parents' course, or my friend took, so I am also taking it, or I also took it. Guys, don't do it for someone else's course. Definitely, you will be under pressure. Okay, CA is something which you have to do with your pleasure, not with pressure. Clear. So when you like it, no one need to force you to study and complete it. Because if your parents or someone else is forcing you study, that will not happen for a long time. Because this is bit long journey. Clear. Long journey means only 3 exams. So one you already crossed. Okay, another 2 steps. That's all. Sir, in your life, you guys would have written hundreds of exams, guys. Till now, how many exams you have passed? You don't even have a count of it. Okay, from your school till college. Now you can't pass these 2 exams in your life. Take it as a challenge. Okay, sir, intermediate to final. Yakagala. Let us see, sir. Yeah, and you can see that is what it is bit challenging. The level of examination is different. But is it more tougher, sir? Till here I have written so many exams and I have passed, whether I like it or not. These 2 exams, please like and do it. Even today, if you feel, sir, this is not for me, sir, I'm not doing it with my full heart, sir, then decide now itself, guys. Better choose something else. Clear? I'm not suggesting it, but if at all, if you are in fourth year, maybe choose something else where you can give your 100% and build a future there. Clear? Because I have seen some students giving only 50%, 60% in CA course, doing something else. Sir, okay, sir, if I pass, okay. If not, plan B is ready, sir. MBA or something else. Guys, when you're doing CA, you should never have plan B. Plan A, CA, plan B, CA. That's all. And when you have plan B, you will not give your 100% to plan A. I am very sure of it. Clear? So, because some students after spending 1 year, 2 year, 3 years and all, they will feel, ayo sir, I didn't give my 100% anyway. That is there for me. My father's business is there for me. Plan B is there for me. Then why did you waste so much time here? Why did you spend so much time is my concern. Definitely you would have acquired a lot of knowledge. But the thing is, I know somewhere if you had given your 100%, you would have passed. Okay, you didn't give zero also, you didn't give 100 also. In between you were. Clear. So you guys also evaluate yourself. Till today, are you giving your 100%? If not, it is high time for you to wake up, guys. Because now, sir, consistency, studying regularly, studying for so many hours is tough. But the pain of regret is too much. Regretting it, I will tell you, if by chance, touch wood, it should not happen. But if by chance, if you are going out of this course as an unsuccessful person, you will carry that regret throughout your life. And whenever you meet your CA friends in future, you will definitely tell one thing: I should have not given up, I should have done it. And I have seen my friends telling to me today. Clear. And definitely it will happen for others also, if at all, if you go out and you are already come in, please make sure that you will go out as a successful person, guys. And it is possible. Sir, is it not, is it tough, man? Sir, impossible? Definitely not. Guys, I just scored 75% in my 10th board exam, and I'm sitting here today as a chartered accountant. Why not you guys? I'm very sure that you guys would have scored more than me, much more than me, in your 10th and plus 2. Clear. 10th, I mean, don't predict me based on that, because after that I bounced back. Clear. So what I was before 10th completely changed when I come to my plus 1. And for you also, there will always be a room. Now, sir, you guys also, few of you couldn't clear in the last attempt. Oh, yo, sir, what, sir? Now I am getting doubt on myself, sir. Self doubt, sir. Can I do it, sir? Can I concentrate, sir? My people, my parents are doubting on me, sir. My that is doubting on me, sir. My this is doubting on me, sir. So, how will I prove, sir? Prove yourself. It is high time. No one will help you now. And when you clear it, everyone will be behind you. Everyone will be behind you, and they will talk very good about you. I told you, na, you were capable. I told you, na, you were able to. Okay, I supported you, na. Anta. It's okay. You will see the colors of people at different stages. And you know, the respect which your relatives give to your parents is directly proportional to what your parents have today. So if you can demand that pride not only to you but also for your parents and your family, is through your qualification, guys. Through your qualification, I have seen that respect wherever I go, wherever I attend any family function. I have seen that respect. Maybe not for me, but for my qualification. Clear. So you guys also has to experience that. So please make sure that my only request is give a 100%. Okay. And how to give it, what to do, guys, you know better. So when you give your 100%, I'm very sure that there is no way that you will again fail or unsuccessful. Clear. So please take it seriously, because the time is very limited, guys. Everyone has same time. Sir, who got all India rank, who passed, as well as who is not able to pass, everyone has same amount of time. But how are we using it will decide our results. Will decide our results, guys. Okay, coming back. Let us move forward. Lot of things are there. 194C, C for contract payment. C for contract payment. Payment to contractors. If single sum is paid 30,000, or if aggregate sum is paid in a year 1 lakh, I am paying 10,000 every month. Total aggregate payment is how much? 120. Should I deduct TDS? Yes. On how much? Entire 120. How much, sir? If the payee is individual or HUF, 1% TDS. If payee is any other person, 2%. When TDS has to be deducted? At the time of credit or payment, whichever is earlier. Then 194D, D for insurance commission. When I will take a policy, when I'm scared of death. Correct? When will I scale? See, guys, even D has some connection with life insurance or insurance. 80C gives deduction for what? Life insurance premium. 1010D gives exemption when the policy matures. When I'm scared of death, I will take policy? Yes. So if I die, will my family members completely enjoy the exemption? Yes. If I am alive, will I enjoy the exemption? Yes, provided if I have paid within the limits. If I have paid within the limits. Now 194D is telling insurance company will pay commission to the agent. Na? This agent would have sold the policy to me. In every family, you guys would have observed, at least one agent will be there who care for you a lot, and your parents, correct? Oh, you, sorry, you should have policies, or if not, what if you go? What about your family? Who will take care of it? They will show so much concern on you and your family. Why? Because if they sell the policy to you, they get the commission. Good or bad, they're doing it. And sir, are we secured? Yes. Especially if by chance if single earner is there at the home, it is always good to have a life insurance policy in their name. Okay. When insurance company pay the commission to the agent through whom the policy has been sold, then will they deduct the TDS? Yes. If the commission is more than 15,000, 10% if the agent is domestic company, if in any other case, 5%. When TDS has to be deducted? At the time of credit or at the time of payment, whichever is earlier. Then 194 DA, this is for the policy matured. Guys, D is for insurance commission, whereas DA is for when policy matures. Guys, if 1010D exemption is not available for me, is it taxable for me? Yes. Under which head? Other sources. We learned it, huh? Total sum received minus premium paid. From premium paid, we have to reduce deduction claimed under section 80C. Remaining amount, we will take it to the outer column. Balance is taxable. Yes, sir. So insurance company, if when they are paying the amount, if it is taxable in the hands of insured, should they deduct TDS? Yes, as per section 194 DA. At what rate? 5%. From 1st October, the rate has been changed to 2%. So in between the year. So from 1st April to 30th September, it would be 5%. From 1st October to 31st March, it would be 2%. When TDS has to be deducted? At the time of payment. Only if the amount is more than or equal to 1 lakh in a year. Next, 194G, commission on sale of lottery tickets. GG, gambling again, lottery ticket. For whom, who is paying the commission? The organizer is paying commission to whom? Lottery agent. For whatever lottery ticket he has sold. If the commission is more than 15,000 in a financial year, 5% TDS has to be deducted. If the payment is made on or after 1st October, then 2%. At the time of credit or at the time of payment, whichever is earlier. Then any other commission or brokerage. Guys, insurance commission D, then lottery ticket commission or lottery agent commission 194 G, G for gambling. All other commissions are covered under section 194 H. If they tell only commission or brokerage, please go ahead with 194 H. When TDS has to be deducted, if the payment of commission or brokerage is more than 15,000 in a financial year, same rates 5% or from 1st October it is 2%. What is the rate of TDS? Sorry, what is when TDS has to be deducted? At the time of credit or payment, whichever is earlier. Yes, sir. Now look at see here, easy to remember 194H also. Commission or brokerage will be paid for whom? The middleman. Correct. Yes, there are two straight line. In between there is one line. Middleman. Middle line. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಎಸ್ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಕಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ದೇರ್ when you are studying or when you are trying to recall it, you should have some shortcuts to recall the provisions. Yes, chalo chalo. 194 I am paying what? Rent to my owner. Okay, should I deduct TDS? Yes, only if I am paying in a year more than 2,40,000. Sir, my owner is charging me rent monthly, sir. Yes, everyone will charge monthly only. But in a year, if you are totally paying 2,40,000 or sorry, more than 2,40,000, you have to deduct TDS on every monthly rent. How much, sir? If it is for plant and machinery and equipment, 2%. If it is for land, building, furniture and fixtures, 10%. At the time of credit or at the time of payment, whichever is earlier it is. Next, 194 IA. Immobile property. Immobile property. Easy to remember. Yes. Transfer of payment on the transfer of immobile property other than agriculture land. Agriculture land is not covered here. Agriculture land both in rural area as well as urban area. Both are not covered here. Okay, sir. Then what is the rate of TDS? 1% on the amount. When? At the time of credit or at the time of payment, whichever is earlier. Sir, what is the threshold limit? Actual purchase value or stamp duty value. Whichever is higher you take. Assume guys the sale value or purchase value, one and the same. For the purchaser it will be purchase value, for the seller sale value. Assume the sale value is 50 lakh. Sale value is 50 lakh. Stamp duty value is 60 lakh. Whichever is higher is how much? 60 lakh. Is this more than 50 lakh? Yes, sir. Is TDS applicable? Yes. On how much? 60 lakh into 1%. 60 lakh into 1%. Now listen. Buyer is paying how much to the seller? 50 lakh. 50 lakh. On that 1% TDS has to be deducted. Is it on 50 lakh or 60 lakh? 60 lakh. So from 50 lakh, reduce how much? 60 lakh into 1%. 60 lakh into 1%. Hope you guys got it. So compare purchase value with stamp duty value. Take whichever is higher. Check whether whichever is higher is more than 50 lakh. If yes, TDS has to be deducted on that 1%. Okay, let me change the scenario now. Sir, purchase value is 70 lakh, sir. Stamp duty value is only 40 lakh, sir. Whichever is higher, 70 lakh. Is it more than 50 lakh? Yes. TDS has to be deducted at 1% on what amount? 70 lakh. 70 lakh, guys. Yes, sir. Okay. Next, IB. Payment of rent by an individual or HF not covered under section 44AB. Guys, here whoever is covered here is any person other than individual and HF. If individual or HF who is not subject to tax audit in the last year, they are not covered under section 194. Sorry, 194I. They are not covered. They are not covered under section 194I. If individual or HF who is not subject to tax audit last year, they are not covered as payer under section 194I. For them, there is a new section which is introduced, that is 194IB. If the payer who is paying the rent is an individual or HF who was not subject to tax audit last year as per section 44AB, and if they are paying per month rent more than 50,000, then TDS has to be deducted at 5%, and with effect from 1st October it is 2%. When, sir? Last month of the previous year, or if the tenant is vacating the property in between the year, last month of the tenants. Last month of the tenants. Yes, sir. Okay, guys, one thing I would like to note. See, here there are number of sections where the rates have been changed in between the year. In between the year. So threshold limits will be, sir, assume, let me take one example. 194H only. 15,000 is the threshold limit, sir. So for 15,000 6 months and another 6 months 15,000. No. Assume, guys, already I have made payment before 30th September. Before 30th September, I have already made 20,000 payment. What is the TDS I would have deducted? 5%. Next, on November. In November, I made a payment of another 10,000. Should we deduct TDS? Yes. How much? 2%. Please be careful. So threshold limit 15,000 is per annum. As there is a change in the rate in between the year, sir, will I get 15,000 for first half year and 15,000 for the second half year? No. Wherever limits are given, it is per annum. It is per annum. So if you're deducting the TDS in the second half, please consider if the payment is made in the first half, how much you have made, and accordingly decide whether to deduct TDS or not, guys. Okay, let us move ahead. 194 IB we are done with. 194J our section. 194G professional fees. Okay. Fee for professional or technical services, royalty or non-compete fee, director's remuneration. TDS has to be deducted at 2% if the payee engaged in the call center or fees for technical services or a royalty in the nature of consideration for films. Right, guys. In any other case, the TDS rate is 10%. When TDS has to be deducted, sir? At the time of credit or payment, whichever is earlier. Sir, what is the threshold limit? More than 30,000 in a financial for each category. For each category. Sir, I have paid 25,000 fee for technical services, 25,000 fee for professional services. Should I deduct TDS? No. Both are within the limit. For the same person, I have paid 25, sir. No, 50. No, 30 is per category. But the limit is not applicable for the amount paid to director. I have paid director's fee 5,000. Should I deduct TDS? Should I deduct TDS? Yes, TDS has to be deducted. Guys, please be careful. Only director fee is covered here. If director is an employee of a company and if salary is paid to him, TDS will be deducted under section 192. So what is covered here is only director fee or sitting fee. He will go and sit in the meeting and get paid for it now, that amount. Next, 194K. Income in respect of units of mutual fund, specified undertaking or company. If the payment is more than 5,000 in a year, TDS has to be deducted at 10% at the time of credit or payment, whichever is earlier. Then 194 LA. Compensation on acquisition of certain immobile property. Compensation will come when there is a compulsory acquisition. Sir, we already saw the transfer of immobile property. No, sir, this is when I myself sell. Whereas 194 LA is when the government has acquired my property. Easy to remember, guys. Normally, the acquisition will be done by government. Keep it as local authority. My local authority is acquiring my property. My local authority is acquiring my property. Then TDS has to be deducted by them under which section? 194 LA. At what rate? 10% at the time of payment. Yes, sir. What is the threshold limit? More than 2,50,000 in a financial year. In case of compulsory acquisition of land or building other than agriculture land. I have mentioned it clearly there. Okay. Guys, please be careful. You may get confused with IA and LA. Try to study together. IA and LA. IA is when I myself has sold it. And TDS rate is here 1%. Threshold limit is 50 lakh. Whereas your threshold limit is 2 lakh 50 and TDS rate is 10%. Okay, sir. Fine, sir. All good, sir. Let us continue. 194M. Guys, there are three sections that is 194C, 194H, 194C, 194H and 194J. All these three sections exclude two people. Who are those? Individual and HUF who was not subject to tax audit last year. For all these three sections, payer will not include individual or HUF who is not subject to tax audit last year. Yes, sir. Now, who have been excluded from those three sections are included under section 194M, guys. You can see payment to contractors, commission or brokerage, fee for professional services. You may get confused. Sir, we have already seen this. Yes, under three sections. What are those guys? Contract 194C, commission or brokerage H, and fee for professional services 194J. Yes, sir. But all these sections, I told you, you would have learnt it. If payer is an individual or HUF who is not subject to tax audit last year, they are not covered there. For them, they added one section later, which is it 194M. So you can see here, I have given it. Payer being an individual or HF other than those who are covered under section 194CHJ, which is nothing but not covered under section 44AB, that is tax audit. Sir, what if individual or HF was subject to tax audit last year? They are covered under section 194C or H or J only. For them, will we apply M? No. This is only who are not covered under CHJ. CHJ. Okay. See. More than 50 lakh in a year. What is the TDS rate? 5%. With effect from 1st October, it is 2%. When the TDS has to be deducted? At the time of credit or at the time of payment? Whichever is earlier. 194N. 194N. See, you have too much money. M is done. You are making payment too much money. Clear up 50 lakh in a year. Even though you are not subject to tax audit, we thought you are small anta, but you are showing that you are big. Why? Because you are paying more than 50 lakh. Clear? And one more thing, guys. For 194C as well as 194J, if I am making payments for my personal purpose, then no TDS. If I am making payments for personal purpose, then no TDS, guys. Okay, sir. Next, 194N. Sir, I am withdrawing huge money from my bank account. Bank is telling, no, wait. What do you do with this? What do you do with this? I told bank, it is none of your business. Mind your business. That is your business. That's all. Clear? It is none of your business. My money, I am withdrawing. But bank told, because department should know this. Department should know this. So, actually, guys, I had my money in my account. I am withdrawing it. Is it my income? No. Is it my income? No. But still, bank is deducting TDS. Bank is deducting TDS. In that case, sir, whatever TDS has been deducted from my money now, will I get a credit of it? Yes, I will get a credit of it. But when will they deduct it? Only if I am withdrawing huge money. Sir, what is the purpose? Because TDS concept lies on when I have earned something, they're asking payer to deduct TDS on it. Why? Because they're making mandatory for me to disclose the income. Clear? But here, sir, I have already disclosed the income. I already paid tax on it, sir. That is why it is there in my account. Now I am withdrawing it. Why are you leaving TDS on it? Government is interested to know what are you doing with this money. You are withdrawing so much cash. We are just bothered about why you are using this. Clear? Maybe they will ask for an explanation for what purpose you used it. Just to track it, they ask the bank to deduct the TDS, guys. So this one is special nature. Why? Because this is not an income for me straight away, but still they are deducting TDS. Okay. So what is the threshold limit, guys? If I am withdrawing more than 1 crore in a financial year, but if the person who is withdrawing it is a cooperative society, it is 3 crore. What is the rate of TDS, sir? 2% of the sum exceeding 1 crore or 3 crore or 20 lakh. When 20 lakh and all, we will see later. Assume, guys, I am withdrawing 1.2 crore from my bank. How much TDS has to be deducted? Only on 20 lakh. How much, sir? 2%. Only in excess of 1 crore. Guys, here it will be different. I have told you before, if I cross threshold limit, I have to deduct TDS on the entire amount. But now it is not like that. Assume I am withdrawing 1.5 crore from my bank account. Only on 50 lakh, bank will deduct TDS at 2%. Okay, sir. Sir, what if cooperative society is withdrawing it? The limit applicable for them is 3 crore. Assume they are withdrawing 4 crore. Only on 1 crore TDS would be deducted at 2%. Okay, sir. Now, for special person, they're deducting TDS if the threshold limit cross 20 lakh only, not 1 crore. When is it? More than 20 lakh in a financial year if the recipient has not furnished the return of income for the last 3 assessment year. Now, the person who is withdrawing the money, if he has not furnished the return for last 3 years, then the limit applicable is not 1 crore, 20 lakh. 20 lakh. So, what is the rate of TDS? 2% in excess of 20 lakh. If they withdraw more than 1 crore, then 5%. Then 5%. Guys, look at the beauty. Look here. Very nice. Now listen. Assume I have not filed the returns for last 3 years. It is whose duty to check whether I have filed the returns or not? Papa, bank. Okay. So assume I have not filed the returns for last 3 years. I am withdrawing 60 lakh from my account. TDS has to be deducted on minus 20 lakh on 40 lakh. How much? 2%. Got it? Got it? Yes, sir. Now, assume I am withdrawing 1.5 crore. I am withdrawing 1.5 crore. Guys, divide this into two parts. 1 crore, 0.5 crore. Got it? Yes. From 1 crore, reduce 20 lakh, which is the limit. 20 lakh is the limit applicable for me. How much is the remaining? 80 lakh. On that 2%. On that 2%. Yes, sir. And on 0.5 crore, it is 5%. Threshold limit is 20 lakh only. If I cross 20 lakh, up to 1 crore, 2%. More than 1 crore, 5%. More than 1 crore, 5%. Hope you guys got it. Bit tricky. Please be careful. That is why I explained with an example. Okay. So whenever I'm withdrawing huge money, bank will tell, no, wait, I have to deduct TDS. Okay. Next, 194O, online shopping. Crazy. 194O is what? Online shopping. So payment by e-commerce operator to e-commerce participant for any sale of goods or provision of services. Guys, it is like this. See, whenever this is e-commerce operator, you know Amazon, Flipkart and all, na? You know Amazon, Flipkart and all? Yes, sir. Now, sir, there is a e-commerce participant who sell the goods or services through e-commerce operator to the buyer. To the buyer. Now, what buyer will do? He will book the goods through e-commerce operator. He will book the goods and he will make the payments to whom? E-commerce operator only. Yes, sir. Now coming to e-commerce participant will receive directly payment from the buyer. No. He will not receive the payment directly from the buyer, guys. So e-commerce operator, who is like a middleman, will collect the tax along with the money. If at all, if tax is applicable, there is under GST, there is something called as TCS. He will collect it. Okay, sir. So he will collect it from the buyer and remit it to the e-commerce participant. So when he is paying it to the e-commerce participant, before paying it, he should deduct TDS. Under which section, sir? Section 194O, guys. Under section 194O, he has to deduct the TDS. Let us see it. Payments by e-commerce operator to e-commerce participant. Guys, who is e-commerce participant here? Seller, actual seller whose product is listed on the platform for any sale of goods or provision of services. What is the rate of TDS? 1% of the gross amount of such sale or services or both. 1% on the sale value. What is that? When TDS has to be deducted? At the time of credit or payment, whichever is earlier. Sir, what is the threshold limit? No TDS for e-commerce participant being an individual or HUF who has furnished his PAN or Aadhaar to e-commerce operator and where the gross amount of such sale or services during the previous year is up to 5 lakh. E-commerce participant is a small seller, sir. He is an individual or HUF who has given his Aadhaar or PAN to the e-commerce operator. In that case, if the sale value in a year is within 5 lakh, should they deduct TDS? No, guys. They will not deduct TDS. In any other case, assume the e-commerce participant, that is the actual seller who has listed the product on e-commerce operator, is a company, partnership firm, irrespective of the sale value, TDS has to be deducted. Then, sir, what if it is an individual HUF? If they have made the sales through e-commerce operator more than 5 lakh, TDS has to be deducted. TDS has to be deducted. Okay, sir. Then coming to 194P, P for pension, guys. So this is applicable only when the payee is a senior citizen aged 75 years or more. 75 years or more. And this senior citizen is getting pension along with interest from the same bank. Means bank is not paying you pension directly. Your employer is paying it. But through what? Through this bank. Assume you have a account with SBI, guys. SBI, through SBI, your employer is paying. Guys, please be careful. Your SBI is not your employer. Okay. Through SBI, your past employer is paying you pension. And in SBI, you also kept as some FD or some deposit for which you are receiving interest. So you have no other income. You have no other income. They asked bank, you deduct TDS. How much? Whatever this senior citizen is liable to pay tax, deduct fully under section 194P. 194P. So if the bank has deducted the TDS, then this guy, that is the senior citizen, is also exempted from filing the returns. They have also exempted him from filing the returns. Guys, easy to remember. Section 194P talks about what? Pension. Next, 194Q. You have bought a large quantity of goods. Large quantity of goods. Who are you? Purchaser, buyer. Now you will deduct TDS only. Guys, two conditions are there. If your purchase value of the goods in a year is more than 50 lakh, plus your last year business turnover was more than 10 crore. More than 10 crore. Both condition has to be satisfied. Both condition has to be satisfied. I repeat. I am the buyer. I have bought the goods worth more than 50 lakh in the previous year. And my turnover in the last year from the business or profession is how much? More than 10 crore. More than 10 crore. How much TDS has to be deducted, sir? 0.1% of the sum exceeding 50 lakh. Threshold limit pattern is different here. If you cross 50 lakh, TDS will be deducted on the entire amount and only excess amount. Excess amount. Assume I have made a shopping for 75 lakh. So TDS would be deducted on 25 lakh. At what rate? 0.1%, guys. 0.1%. When, sir? At the time of credit or at the time of payment, whichever is earlier. One more important thing, guys, when buyer is not covered under section 194Q, we have to check for the same transaction TCS under section 206C 1H. Under section 206C 1H. So you can write like this, red with, because this two has to be studied together. But listen here. If buyer is already deducting TDS under section 194Q, for seller, will you check TCS? No. TCS is only when TDS is not applicable. For the same transaction, you will not check both. Sir, should I check TDS first or TCS first? Yendro. Should we check TDS or TCS first? TDS. If TDS is not applicable from buyer point of view, go and check section 206C 1H. Easy to remember, guys. Q for quantity, huge quantity. H, 1H, huge quantity. Easy to remember. More than 50 lakh, now obviously you would have purchased not one or two item. Huge quantity. 194R. If any benefit or perquisite is paid more than 20,000 in a year, then TDS has to be deducted at 10% before providing such benefit or perquisite. Sir, perquisite paid only to employee need not be. If it is paid to employee, covered under 192 only. Sir, what if benefit or perquisite is given to someone else, sir? Then TDS has to be deducted under section 194R. And in all the cases, TDS will be deducted only if it is taxable in the hands of payee. If something is exempt in the hands of payee, will we deduct TDS on it? No, we will not. Okay. Then with TDS sections, we have some more provisions with respect to TDS. We will see it. Tax deducted is an income received. Guys, in my example, I told you, I am deducting 1 lakh TDS on your amount. I will remit it to the government. But what is your income? 10 lakh. So in TDS deducted, is it considered as income for the payee? Yes, it is considered as income for the payee. The tax deducted at source is deemed to be the income received by the assessee for the purpose of computing his income that is in the hands of payee. However, the following tax paid or deducted would not be deemed to be the income received by the assessee for the purpose of computing the total income. What are those? The tax paid by the employer under section 192 1A on non-monetary perquisites provided to employee. If employer pay the tax on non-monetary perquisites of employee, it is perquisite in the hands of employee but exempt. 1010 C. Even employer cannot claim this expenditure. We have learned this. Connected to two heads. Okay, sir. So for employee, is it an income, sir? No, as it is exempt in his hands. Same way, tax deducted under section 194N withdrawal. I told you, even though it is not in the nature of income, still TDS is deducted. Sir, bank deducted the TDS, and whatever TDS they have deducted and remitted to the government, will it be considered as my income? No, guys, I have already earned the income, paid tax, and the amount was credited to my bank account. It was lying there. Sir, it is the white money na black money na? White, pure white. I'm withdrawing that and they are charging TDS on that. So whatever TDS is deducted, again, will it become income for me? No, it is not. So only in these two cases, TDS deducted will not be an income, guys. In any other section, whatever TDS has been deducted by the payer and remitted to the government will become TDS in the hand, will become the income in the hands of payee. So credit for tax deducted at source. Now you will calculate your tax liability in your income calculation. Whatever I have totally supposed to pay to you, how much? 10 lakh. You will consider. Assume guys you have many other income also, which is around 60 lakh. So total income for you is 70 lakh. So in your total income calculation, you took full 10 lakh. Yes, sir. Now on 70 lakh, assume guys tax is coming to 30 lakh. Will you pay entire 30 lakh? No, sir. Final tax liability is 30 lakh. Will you pay entire 30 lakh? No. You will deduct whatever TDS has been deducted on your income, including TCS. Okay, I deducted 1 lakh now like this. Whoever paid you 60 lakh also would have deducted TDS. Yes. Now assume total TDS deducted on your income is 5 lakh. Reduce that much. Remaining 25 lakh you have to pay and file your returns. File your returns, guys. So while paying tax, you will claim the credit of whatever TDS has been deducted and remitted to the government, because the payer would have remitted to the TDS amount in your PAN. You would have collected the PAN number from you. So unique number for income tax purpose is PAN. So your PAN will get a credit of it. And for income tax purpose, PAN is your user ID on income tax portal, guys. So whatever TDS has been deducted on my income or TCS collected on my income will be auto credited to my PAN, guys. Okay. Now furnishing of quarterly returns with the department. 24Q is for TDS deducted on salaries. 26Q is for TDS deducted on any payment made to resident other than salary. Then 27Q is for TDS deducted on any payment other than salary to a non-resident. Then 27EQ is TCS statement, guys. Not TDS, TCS. But I have just given it together so that you can study here. Okay, sir. Next, sir, as I discussed, what if this guy, you are telling to follow so many things for this payer. What if he doesn't do it? What if he doesn't do it? Guys, under the head PGPP, what is the consequence? We already seen. Now, under the head TDS, what are the consequences? So, consequence in the event of default, that is, if the payer doesn't comply with the TDS provision. If a person responsible for deduction of tax at source, that is the payer, fails to deduct the appropriate tax or after making the due deduction fails to deposit it, he shall be deemed to be the assessee in default. 2 clause 7 also we discussed about it. Assessee definition. And shall be liable for payment of whole or any part of the tax as due. Guys, now assume I was supposed to deduct 1 lakh from your payment. I have not deducted it. So that 1 lakh, what is the loss of revenue to the government? I have to make it good. So should I pay that 1 lakh out of my pocket to the government now? Yes, plus interest. If TDS is not at all deducted, then interest is at 1% per month or part of the month from the date on which tax was supposed to be deducted till the date it will be deducted. Because at least later I have to deduct and remit it to the government. Till the day it is deducted and remitted to the government, interest will be keep on running. And 1% interest is on what? The amount of TDS, not the on the amount of expenses. On the amount of TDS, guys. Yes. Second one, where TDS is deducted but not remitted to the government. This is a serious offense. I am playing around with government money. I have deducted but not remitted to the government within 7th, guys. So in that case, on the TDS amount which I have deducted but not remitted, interest is at 1% per month or part of the month from the date on which such tax was deducted to the date on which such tax is actually paid to the government. From the date you have deducted it, but not paid to the government. You thought, how will government get to know? Let me keep it under. Clear? One or the other way, because payee there will be lo, because he has not get credit now. So you will go and complain to the department telling, sir, this guy has deducted TDS, but not, I have not got the credit and immediately department will send a notice to you telling, payer, you have deducted but not remitted. Please pay 1 lakh along with interest. Please pay 1 lakh along with interest. Then penalty also will be there, which will be as high as the amount of TDS. In my example, what is the TDS amount? 1 lakh. So you have to pay 1 lakh plus interest plus penalty also. And free boarding and lodging also can be possible. Free boarding and lodging, that is rigorous imprisonment also is possible depending upon the seriousness of the case, guys. Done with TDS. The first topic in this chapter is done. First topic. Next is TCS. TCS is easy when compared to TDS. Listen. Tax collected at source, not Tata Consultancy Services. So it is tax collected at source. Okay. Who will collect it? Seller. From whom? Buyer. Guys, listen. Who will collect from whom? Seller. Seller has sold some goods to whom? Buyer. Has sold some goods to buyer on which TCS is applicable. On which TCS is applicable, sir. Yes. Now assume the seller has sold for 5 lakh, guys. He has sold the goods for 5 lakh. Assume TCS applicable is 1%. He has to collect it. He has to collect it over and above the selling price. He has to collect it over and above the selling price. How much it comes to? 5,000. So he has to collect totally how much from the buyer? 5 lakh 5,000. Seller will put for his pocket 5 lakh and he has to remit it to the government. Government, how much? 5,000. On or before 7th only. Here also due date is same. Guys, both for TDS as well as TDS, in some special cases and all, different due dates are there. Clear? But you guys remember the standard date, which is 7th of next month, because even those provisions are not covered for you at intermediate level at detail. You guys just know it is 7th of next month, more than enough. Okay. Now listen. Sir, okay, seller, should he collect always? No, only on some selected goods or services. Now, when should he collect the TCS? Guys, here, tricky. Again, come on. For TDS, we discussed. Where is that TDS? So, for TDS, for most of the section, what it was? Date of payment or date of credit, whichever is earlier, correct? Yes. Same way here, they're telling date of debit or date of payment, whichever is earlier. Date of debit, yes. Who is collecting it? Seller. Think from seller point of view. So we are in the books of accounts of whom? Seller. Okay. Now listen, guys. On 1st January, he sold the goods on credit. He sold the goods on credit. What is the entry? He will pass. For whom? We are selling to Rani. Okay. Rani to sales. Rani to sales. Credit entry. Sales. Yes, sir. Rani till she paid. She is an asset for me. Rani is an asset for me. Yes, sir. Assume the payment is made on 14th February, special day. Payment is made to Rani. Rani enjoy anta. Okay. So payment is not made to Rani. Payment is collected from Rani. Yes, sir. What is the entry? Bank to Rani. Rani paid me on 14th February. Okay. Don't go it anywhere else. Stick to taxation. Yes, sir. Hope you understood. I made credit sales to Rani on 1st January. She paid me on 14th February. When am I supposed to collect TCS? 1st January or 14th February, whichever is earlier. 1st January or 14th February, whichever is earlier, which is 1st January. So when should TCS be collected is at the time of debit to the account of buyer or at the time of payment, whichever is earlier. At the time of debit and not credit. Now I am the seller. I will debit the buyer account or credit the buyer account. Debit it. Debtor. You know debtor, no? Okay. We use the name of the person. Okay. Debtor is one common name given, but we will use the name of the buyer, guys. Hope you understood. Yes, sir. Okay. Tax collection at source, as the name says, means collection of tax at source at prescribed rates by the seller. Who is collecting it? Seller. We call them as collector. From the buyer of specified goods or services. tax shall be collected at the time of debiting the amount to the account of the buyer who has purchased on credit, or at the time of receipt of amount, whichever is earlier. Sir, what if it's cash sale? Same, only one day you pass the entry. That day will be the date on which TCS has to be collected. Cash sales. Yes, sir. Then for two section 206C 1F and 206C 1H, TCS has to be collected at the time of receipt. No earlier concept and all. Whenever you are receiving the money, at that time TCS has to be collected only for two sections. That is 206C 1F and 1H. For any other sections, guys, normal. For any other section, it is normal. That is at the time of debit or at the time of payment, whichever is earlier. Okay, sir. Next, tax is to be collected at source in the following cases. Section 206C, subsection 1, sale of different products are there. Alcoholic liquor for human consumption, TCS at 1%. Scrap, TCS at 1%. Minerals being coal or lignite or iron ore, TCS at 1%. Tendu leaves, TCS at 5%. Timber and any other forest produce, TCS at 2.5%. But one important catchy point here is TCS for all these products will be collected from the buyer only if he is a trader who has purchased the following items for further sale. For further sale. Now, sir, I have purchased the following item for my personal consumption. You went to an alcohol shop, sir, fully depressed, went and have, please don't have. Okay, don't spoil your own health by giving your own money. Okay, assuming. Okay, not you. Okay, let us take someone else. Okay, adrinda motivation ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ Sir, some person went to a shop and purchased and had alcohol, personal consumption. Is TCS applicable? Will the shop person collect 100 rupees for alcohol plus TCS? No. Clear? No TCS. Now, when the manufacturer sells it, Kingfisher sells it to the distributor, is TCS applicable? Yes, TCS is applicable because government want to tally the stock and stock of the liquors because they manipulate a lot. Clear? Manipulation will happen, may not be everyone, but still. So in order to match the inventory and all, what you have purchased, have you sold it or not? Clear? So that is why TCS has been collected on their purchase from the manufacturers. Is that clear? So in simple, guys, if the following items are used only for the further sale, TCS is applicable on the first sale, not on the second sale. Next, sir, I have purchased this to use it as a raw material in my production process. Is TCS applicable? No. For example, I have purchased timber to manufacture furniture out of it. Is TCS applicable? No. Sir, I have purchased timber to sell as it is to others. Is TCS applicable? Yes. Next, section 206C, 1C. 1C. Grant of lease license of parking lot, toll plaza, mining and quarrying, other than mining and quarrying of mineral oil, petroleum and natural gas. TCS at 2%. Easy, guys. C for car parking. Take it like that. Next, 206C, 1F. Fortuner. Sir, I am buying Fortuner. Is TCS applicable? Look at this. Sale of motor vehicle of value more than 10 lakh, ex-showroom price. TCS is how much? At 1%. Sir, when I pay, I will pay on-road price. But is TCS applicable on road price? No, because there will be something called as road tax, insurance and all. On that, TCS is not applicable because that is not the revenue of the car companies, automobile industries. Their revenue is only what? Ex-showroom price. On that, they will collect the TCS, guys. Yes. So remember, Fortuner cost is definitely more than 10 lakh, na? Correct. So in that case, F for Fortuner. TCS is applicable only in case of sale of motor vehicle in retail sales. That is only when it is sold to the customers. Sir, Tata company, Tata cars or Tata Motors send the cars to all their distributors or showrooms. Is TCS applicable? No. Now I went and purchased from Tata showroom, Tata car. Is TCS applicable? Yes, provided the ex-showroom price is more than 10 lakh. What and all tax they collect? Road tax, TCS, and on my income. First of all, I would have earned income, paid tax on it. With that money, we are purchasing car. On car also, whatever you pay, road tax is there. And over and above TCS. Half year I am working for government, Half of the year, 6 months I am working for myself and my family. Another half year I am working for government. That is how the pattern is. Chala. With effect from, this is an amendment, guys. From 1st January 2025, Section 206C1F has been expanded to include every person being a seller who sell any other notified goods for exceeding 10 lakh. Any other notified goods, sir? Government has it notified anything? No, they've added this provision. Tomorrow, madam, when she feel, let me add it. Let me add assume any item they can add. At the time of receipt of such amount, collect tax from the buyer at 1% of the sale consideration. So as of now, this is like dummy, guys. Why? Because there is no other product which has been notified. As of now, only one product. What is it? Motor vehicle. Next, 206G, 1G. Sir, I'm going where? Goa. So you guys all would have planned, na? But here Goa is not covered. You are going outside India. Clear. So for going outside India, you have purchased foreign tour package. Or there you want to go and spend foreign currency, na? You have exchanged Indian rupees into foreign currency. For this service, the person who is providing it, will he charge commission? Yes. We are not talking about it. You should collect TCS also. On whatever is the value of the currency exchange or on whatever is the value of tour package, the person has to collect TCS. How much so? Section 206C1G provides for collection of tax by every person being an authorized dealer who receives amount under a liberalized remittance scheme of the RBI. For remittance from a buyer being a person remitting such amount being means, guys, you have purchased or you are converting Indian rupees into foreign currency. Why? I am going outside India for any purpose. Next, being a seller of overseas tour program package who receives any amount from a buyer who purchases the package. Assume I have purchased a foreign tour package from Thomas Cook. Should they collect TCS? Yes. When? How much? First, when the amount is for the purchase of overseas tour program package, 5% till 7 lakh and over and above 7 lakh, 20%. Guys, assume I have purchased a foreign tour package for 5 lakh. What is the TCS applicable? 5%. 5%. Next, I have purchased a foreign tour package for 15 lakh. What is the TCS applicable? On 7 lakh, 5%. In excess of 7 lakh, how much is there? 8 lakh, 20%. On 8 lakh, 20%. Okay, so next. Amount remitted is for the purpose of, guys, this is all three is with respect to currency exchange. Currency exchange. First two, they are clearly told for what purpose. Rest all will fall in the last case. Yes. Amount remitted is for the purpose of education or medical treatment. Yes, in that case, TCS is 5% of the amount in excess of 7 lakh. Now assume I have exchanged 5 lakh for medical treatment of me or my family members outside India. Up to 5 lakh, sir, no TCS. Sir, I have exchanged 10 lakh. Up to 7 lakh, no TCS. 7 to 10, that is 3 lakh. On 3 lakh, 5%. Next, amount remitted out is education loan obtained from any financial institution as referred in section 80E. Guys, 80E will not give you deduction if the education is taken outside India. But you have taken the loan as prescribed in 80E. And you are converting that loan into Indian foreign currency and you are taking it outside India. In that case, the TCS would be 0.5% of the amount in excess of 7 lakh. Any other case, guys, that is other than medical education and our medical education loan. See, that also you may get confused. Sir, here also education is there. Here education is, this is second point. Education is when I am converting my own money for my education or my children's education. TCS would be as per this point. Third point is when I have taken education loan and converting that into foreign currency, then 0.5% is 0.5%. Last one, any other case other than education and medical, TCS would be 20% on the amount in excess of 7. Assume I have exchanged 10 lakh to go for a foreign trip, currency exchange, to do shopping there, okay, or to incur expenditure there. What is the amount of TCS? On 3 lakh, it would be 20%. Now, sir, what if all three I have done, or maybe 2 and 4? Will I get benefit up to 7 lakh? Yes. So, year, sir. Whichever has happened first. You have to go follow with FIFO. You have to follow with FIFO. For example, sir, first I have exchanged 10 lakh for this and another 5 lakh for this. Then reduce 7 lakh here. On 3 lakh, 5%. Then here on entire 5 lakh, it would be 20%. Because we already crossed 7 lakh. Guys, 7 lakh is not individually. All three put together, 7 lakh per annum. All three put together, 7 lakh is per annum. Okay, next reverse case I will take. Sir, first 5 lakh I have exchanged for this purpose. Then another 10 lakh I have exchanged for this purpose. Then here nothing is taxable. Nothing is collect means TCS is not collectible. Whereas here minus 2 lakh on 8 lakh it is 5%. Hope you are able to catch me. So 7 lakh is not each category wise. Each category wise, yes. But all put together, what is the limit, sir? 7 plus 7 plus 7, 21. Ah, no, no. All three put together also aggregate 7 lakh. So there you may have a confusion. Sir, first 7 lakh, I will adjust it against what? FIFO basis. FIFO basis. Next. Provisions of this subsection shall not apply if the buyer is liable to deduct tax at source under any other provisions of this act and has deducted such amount. However, TCS under section 206C 1G would not be applicable to a person being a buyer if a buyer is a non-resident as per section 6, or if it doesn't have along with that, okay, and not or, is a non-resident and not having any permanent establishment in India, TCS is not applicable. TCS is not applicable as per section 206C 1G, guys. Then the last section here, 206C 1H. All TCS provisions are covered in section 206C only, guys. Subsections will change. And this you have to read along with what? 194Q. I mentioned it. Yes, sir. Now here, TCS we are checking from whose point of view, guys? Seller point of view. Seller who receives consideration for sale of any goods of aggregate value more than 50 lakh in the previous year, other than the goods which are being exported out of India or goods covered elsewhere, collect from a buyer TCS at 0.1% of the sale consideration exceeding 50 lakh, including GST. Including GST, if the amount crosses 50 lakh, should they deduct TDS? Yes, sorry. Should they collect TCS? Yes, only on the excess amount. Only on the excess amount. But coming to TDS, guys, this is a bit confusing, but this is how it is given in the law. For 194Q, you can just mention here, excluding GST. Here it is excluding GST. On GST part, should we deduct TDS? No. Whereas under TCS is including GST. Is including GST, guys. Yes, sir. Including GST. For example, listen here. Sir, assume sale value is 50 lakh plus GST is 5 lakh. Should we collect TCS? Yes. So because 55 lakh is more than 50 lakh. 55 lakh is more than 50 lakh. Is that clear? Yes, sir. But if I am thinking from TDS point of view, we have to exclude this. Is 50 lakh more than 50 lakh? No, equal to 50. Equal to 50. Sir, even if it is equal to 50, is TDS applicable? No. You can see. Only if it is more than 50. Only if it is more than 50. Let me give one more example. Listen, guys. Assume, guys, buy value is 48 lakh. GST is 12 lakh. What is the total? 60. Is 48 more than 50 lakh? No. That means no TDS. No TDS. Now for TCS, should we cover 60 lakh or 48 lakh? 60 lakh. Is 60 more than 50? Yes. Is TCS applicable? Yes. This is as per the answer given by ICI, guys. So please follow the same accordingly. No, both will not be applicable. Now, sir, assume sale value is 80 lakh, 90 lakh. First, we will check what? TDS. When TDS is applicable, we will not check TCS. Sir, when it is there, should we check first TDS? TCS. TDS. If TDS is applicable, you will not come to TCS. If TDS is not applicable under 194Q only, you will come and check TCS. Both cannot be applied on the same transaction, guys. Anyone. First, what should I check? TDS. If not applicable, then from seller point of view, TCS. Okay, sure. Next, guys, there is some provisions with respect to both TDS and TCS. I have given it here. Guys, listen. There are two consequences. Guys, please listen. Now, sir, payer, when is deducting TDS from payee, if payee doesn't give his PAN to the payer, then payer has to deduct TDS at higher rate. Or else, if payer is a specified person who has not filed the returns for the last year and is TDS plus TCS in the previous year is more than 50,000. In the last year, TDS under all sections put together and TCS all sections put together in aggregate is more than 50,000, sir. More than 50,000. Then in this case, the payee is called as specified person. Even in that case, the payer has to deduct TDS at higher rate. What rate and all we will see. Same like situation. If, sir, seller will collect TCS from the buyer, na? What if the buyer doesn't give his PAN to the seller? Seller will collect TCS, sir. TCS at higher. Sir, what if buyer is a specified person? Seller will collect TCS at a higher rate. Sir, what rate? What rate? As this two consequences has a similar effect, I am covering it together. That is both TDS as well as TCS, guys. Because they have a correlation. Yes. Higher rate of TCS for non-filers of income tax return and non-furnisher of PAN. Section 206 CCA and CC. This is with respect to TCS what we are covering. As per section 206 CC, if PAN is not intimated, who is not intimated it? Buyer. Tax shall be collected at twice the actual rate. Whatever is the actual rate. Assume actual rate is 1%. Twice of it, 2%. Sir, actual rate is 2%. Twice of it, 4%. Or 5%, whichever is higher. But for section 206 C1H, don't take 5%, take 1%. That is actual rate is what, guys? 0.1%. Now, into 2 will become how much? 0.2%. Or 1%, whichever is higher, 1%. Or 1%. Yes, sir. Whereas for any other section, 5%. Whichever is higher. Actual rate into 2 or 5%, whichever is higher. Next coming to 206 CCA. If buyer is a specified person, then the seller has to collect TCS at twice the actual rate or 5%, whichever is higher. Same provision. Same provision, but who is covered here? Buyer, specified person. Okay, who is he also we will see. However, the maximum rate of TCS under both the sections shall not exceed how much? 20%. Shall not exceed 20%. Okay. Next. Sir, who is this specified person? Specified person is the person who has not filed the returns in the last year, guys. Who is he? I have given it here. You can see here. There has to be a small correction made there. Please be attentive. Meaning of a specified person, that is for both TDS as well as TCS. For both, this is the guidelines. A person who has not filed the return of income for previous year, just make it as previous year, not previous, or else do it like this. Just a second. Make it as previous assessment year. Years is not there. To cancel it out, and yes, you cancel it out. Okay, for previous assessment year for which the time limit of filing the return under section 139(1) has expired and the aggregate of TDS and TCS is 50,000 or more in each better. Okay, just cancel it out. Or in such year, Anta. In such year. In such year. In such year. Or in such assessment year. Whatever you can. Only 1 year. Okay. These provisions are not applicable to a non-resident who does not have permanent establishment in India. Guys, simple. Sir, this specified person means who? Who has not filed the return of income in last year, not in current year. Current year in a due date bandila. Due date is only not yet come. We are not checking for current year. Last year he has not filed the returns for which due date is already over. And last year for him, TDS as well as TCS both put together is more than or equal to 50,000. More than or equal to 50 under all sections put together. Then in the current year, we treat them as what? Specified persons. Okay, so. Oh, fine. Sir, what if both the sections are applicable? Buyer has not given his PAN and is also specified person. Devro, God. In that case, TCS has to be collected at first individually calculate as per both the section and go with whichever is higher. It will remain same only, guys. It will remain same only. For example, listen. Assume the actual TCS rate is 2%, guys. Into 2 will become what? 4%. 4 or 5%, whichever is higher, 5%. Assume the buyer is also specified person. Same story here. 2% into 2 will come as 4 or 5%, whichever is higher, 5%. Agree na? Now take whichever is higher, 5 only. Now take whichever is higher. This is only when both the sections are applicable for a buyer. That is, he has not given his PAN also. He is also a specified person, guys. Next, for TDS purpose also we have similar provision. Yes, so what is it? As per section 206 AA provides, if payee doesn't provide his PAN, TDS has to be deducted at 20% or the actual rate, whichever is higher. Whichever is higher. But for 194Q, it is 5%. If TDS is to be deducted under section 194Q and if the payee has not given his PAN, then instead of 20%, it is 5%, guys. In any other case, actual rate or 20%, whichever is higher. Only for 194B series, it will be higher, 30%. In all other cases, you can straight away take 20%. Correct now. Only B series has more than 20, that is 30%. So 20 or 30, whichever is higher, 30. For any other section, TDS rate is lower. So TDS rate or 20% will be, whichever is higher, 20, guys. No. Sir, what if a payee is also a specified person, not filed as written last year, and TDS plus TCS both put together is more than or equal to 50,000? Then twice the actual rate of TDS, twice or 5%, whichever is higher. Whichever is higher, guys. But section 206 AB is not applicable for TDS deducted under section 192, 192A, B, BA, BB, IA, IB, M and N. Only 206 AB is not applicable. Sir, is 206 AA applicable? Yes, for every section. For every section, guys. Now, sir, for what same payee is a specified person as well as he has not given his PAN also. As well as he has not given his PAN also. Give me one example, guys. Give me one example. TDS rate quickly. What rate? Hello? Hello? Huh? 5%. Okay. So assume the payee has not given his PAN. So actual rate is 5% or 20%, whichever is higher. 20%, sir. 20%. Then assume payee is also a specified person. So in that case, twice the actual rate, 10%. Or 5%, whichever is higher, 10%. Now, as both the sections are applicable to the same payee, what should we do? Whichever is higher. How much? 20%. 20%. Individually first calculate section wise and take whichever is higher. This is only when same as payee is covered under both the sections, guys. So you should not do 20 plus 10 anta. 30% TDS. No. Whichever is higher. Okay, so done. Done with TCS. Easy to remember, guys. TCS for all the sections I have given shortcuts. Easy to remember. Last topic in this chapter, advance tax. If in advance payment of tax, the assessee has to pay tax in the financial year, which is nothing but our previous year, on estimated income. So standing in the previous year, I have to estimate how much will I earn till 31st March. Estimate your total income, estimate your tax liability, and start paying advance tax quarterly in 4 installments. In 4 installment, which is to be assessed in the subsequent assessment year. It follows the doctrine known as pay as you earn scheme. It is kind of mandatory payment of tax assessed by the assessee himself on income before completion of financial year. So this is something which you would have calculated and paid before 31st March of the previous year only. That is why we are terming it as advance tax. Now, who should pay advance tax? Whoever is having the tax liability of 10,000 or more. Tax liability means final tax liability or no. I have just written here. You can see. First, guys, we have to calculate our final tax liability. From that, we have to reduce TDS, TCS to be deducted or to be collected. Or if I am eligible for any credit, reduce it. Whatever amount we get, if that amount is like advance tax payable, if this is more than 10,000, I have to pay advance tax. I have to pay advance tax. Hope you guys are getting it. I will explain again. Final tax liability, that is on my estimated income. Assume is coming to 20 lakh. I am also expecting that on my income, TDS will be deducted at by different pays 15 lakh. TCS will be collected at 1 lakh. So remaining is how much, guys? 4 lakh. Is this more than 10,000? Yes. Am I payable Am I liable to pay advance tax? Yes. How much? 20 lakh or 4 lakh? 4 lakh. 4 lakh. Because anyway, government will get this in one or the other form. What I am liable to pay advance tax is only 4 lakh and not entire 20 lakh. Entire 20 lakh. So to check whether it is, see, this is more than or equal to 10,000. Yes. Am I liable to pay advance tax? Yes, guys. Yeah. So if advance tax payable is 10,000 or more, I should pay advance tax. But exemption is for the assessee who is resident individual, not having any income under the IDP GBP and senior citizen, 60 or more. Even if their advance tax payable is 10,000 or more, they are not liable to pay advance tax. Means tax exemption, huh? No. They have to pay self-assessment tax in the assessment year, but they are not liable to pay advance tax, guys. Due dates for payment of advance tax on or before 15th June. Guys, quarterly. Guys, please be careful. Listen here. You may get confused with this. Easy to remember. When will the first quarter end? 30th June. Before the quarter end, you have to pay. Why, sir? Advance tax, na? Advance, na? You have to pay before. Yes. So on or before 15th June, 15% of the advance tax due. Then on or before 15th September, second quarter will end on 30th September. So on 15th September, up to 45%. And whatever is paid in the previous installment, we will reduce it. Okay. Then on or before 15th December, up to 75% minus whatever I have paid in the previous installments. Next, up to 15th March, on or before 15th March, it is up to 100% minus whatever I already paid. Guys, please be careful. These percentages are cumulative. Because if by chance, if I have short paid in the first installment, I can overcome that in the second installment by clearing it. Clear? So whatever percentages are there, it is cumulative. So in the second, third and fourth installment, whatever amount is there, that is 45, 75% and 100%. Will we pay fully? No. We will calculate that much minus whatever we already paid in the previous installments. Only the balance we will deposit. Only the balance we will deposit. And guys, simple. You know, each quarter will end with a month. So take the 15th of the last month of each quarter as the due dates. Yes, sir. Then, if the assessee is following the presumptive scheme under section 44 AD or ADA, then he will pay whatever advance tax is liable to pay in one shot on or before 15th March. On or before 15th March. And in the advance tax, they have told what is the last due date for last payment? 15th March. Even if you have paid anything before 31st March also, it is considered to be advance tax paid. It is considered to be advance tax paid, guys. Yes, sir. Next. Sir, what if I don't pay? Even if I am liable to pay but not paid, or else I have short paid. For example, I have paid advance tax paid is 2 lakhs, sir. But advance tax which I was supposed to pay as per actual calculation was 3.5 lakhs, sir. How much is the short? 1.5 lakh. On this, 1% interest would be levied from when? 1st April of the assessment year. 1st April of the assessment year. Till when? Till the actual calculation is done. Till means I got to know this 3.5 when? Till then. Till then. Hope you understood. That is still assessment year particular date. Clear, guys? Assume, I repeat again, what I was supposed to pay was 3.5. But what I have paid is 2 lakh. What is the short payment? 1.5 lakh in total. On that 1% interest per month or part of the month. Per month or part of the month. For how many months? From 1st April of assessment year till the date of assessment. Till the date of assessment. Yes, sir. You can see interest under section 234B is attracted for non-payment of advance tax or payment of advance tax if the amount is less than 90% of assessed tax. Assessed tax means your actual tax liability. Okay. Sir, how do I know it? I have given it here. Third note. Third note, guys. Tax due on returned income, that is nothing but assessed tax also we call it as, means actual tax liability, guys. Means the tax calculated on the total income, actual total income, declared in the return, less TDS, TCS, any relief of tax, any tax credit. Reduce all that. See, this is what you are supposed to pay minus what you have paid will be shortage or shortfall on this 1% interest per month, guys. Per month or part of the month. So please be careful. Whatever assessed tax is there, it is actual tax liability. But after reducing TCS, TCS or any credit available. Okay. And if the difference is up to 10%, they're telling no interest. For example, what I have paid, sir, 2 lakh is, if it is more than or equal to 90% of what I was supposed to pay, then no interest. Means if the difference is up to 10%, no interest. In this case, is it more than 90%? No, sir. So on the entire difference, will they charge interest? Yes. Now assume, next case we will take. Assume guys, I have paid 2 lakh, but what I was supposed to pay was only 2.1 lakh, sir. 10,000 differences are. So what I have paid is more than 90% of what I was supposed to pay? Yes. So on that 10,000 difference, will they charge interest? No. As it is minor difference, allowed. No interest. But should you pay that? Yes. You have to pay it and file the returns. We call that as self-assessment tax. Whatever tax you pay in the assessment year before filing the returns is called self-assessment tax. Next, 234B interest we are done with. 234B interest is for the total shortfall. From when will it start? First April of assessment year. Next we have one more interest, that is for shortfall in the installments. Shortfall in the installments, guys. Interest payable for deferment of advance tax or short payment of advance tax. Section 234C. In case of all assessee other than who is covered under section 44 AD or ADA, in case of non-payment or short payment of advance tax, simple interest at 1% per month for the period specified below shall be paid by the assessee. How much, sir? First installment I have to pay 15%. Yes. Check how much I have paid. 15% of the tax due on the returned income minus whatever I have paid. If I have already paid correctly or if I already paid more, no problem. But what if there is a difference? For example, I was supposed to pay 2 lakh, but I have paid only 1.8 lakh. Or else let me take it as only 1.2 lakh. On 80,000, will they charge interest? Yes. How much? 1% for 3 months. So it will be 3%. 1% for 3 months, guys. Why 3 months, sir? What is the gap between the installments? 3 months. So in interest is 3 months, guys. Guys, why they are charging interest for 3 months in the first 3 installments is they are expecting at least you will pay it in the next installment. You will make it good in the next installment. Yes. Second, what are you supposed to pay? 45%. So 45% of the tax due on returned income. Due on returned income is assessed tax, whatever we saw now, that one. Minus advance tax paid till 15th September. That is cumulatively. If there is any shortfall on that 1% for 3 months. Same way. On or before 15th December, I was supposed to pay 75% of tax due on returned income minus whatever I have paid. All 3 installments put together. Reduce that much. If there is any shortfall, 1% interest for 3 months, which comes to effectively 3%. Last installment, 100% you take minus whatever you already paid. If there is difference, interest only for 1 month. Sir, why? By mistake you have given. Please correct it, sir. No. For first 3 installment, the gap is 3 months. Yes. Whereas last installment, gap is only 16 days. Gap is only 16 days. That is from 15th March to 31st March, guys. 31st March 25. Only 16 days. So part of the month, take it as 1 month. Sir, why not after that? From 1st April, section 234B will take over for interest. From 1st April, interest will be collected as per section 234B, right? So that is why 234C will end when? On 31st March only. On 31st March only, guys. So that is why only 1 month here. Only 1 month. Yes, sir. Guys, first and second installment, you are supposed to pay how much? 15 and 45%. But only for 234C, they are giving some relaxation only for interest purpose. You have to pay 1545. But even if you have paid up to 12% in the first installment or 36% in the second installment, they are telling no interest. Means if the difference is small in between 12 and up to 15, no interest. You have paid more than 36, but up to 45%, no interest, as it is different. Clear? Because here also they give up to 10% difference. Here also they are giving. Here up to 12 if you have paid, okay. Here if you have paid up to 36%, okay. But please be careful, guys. This is only for the first 2 installments. Why, sir? Guys, obviously, standing at the beginning of the year in the first or second quarter, I cannot oversee the future exactly. Lack of certainty will be there. Can I estimate my income exactly? No, possibility will not be there. So here and there some deviation would be there. So that is why only for the first two installment they are giving that benefit. Also, guys, if there is any underestimation of income due to the following incomes, if there is any underestimation of income as per the section 234C, will interest be charged? No, if it is due to the following reasons. I have underestimated my income due to what? Sir, all of the sudden in December I sold one asset which I had no idea that I will sell. Can happen. Correct. Or casual income, no one will have an idea until they win. Everyone will play that with an expectation to win, but will they win? What is the probability? What is the certainty? No, very less. Okay. Then income accrues or arises for the first time under the 8PGP. Sir, I have started my business for the first time. Even I don't know how it will take off. Dividend income under section 234 A, B, C, D, and even F, guys, covered now. Even F, that is buyback. Even that is covered here. You can add it. Yes, sir. So, if I have underestimated my income due to any of this, then interest will not be charged. Interest under section 234C will not be charged, guys. But I should make sure that once I earn this income, before the next installment, I have to consider this and pay it. Okay. Assessed tax, we already covered. Next, here, this is applicable only for the assessee other than 44 AD and ADA. Sir, what about the assessee who is covered under 44 AD and ADA? For him, only one installment. Huh? So, if he has short paid or unpaid, then interest is on that shortfall only for 1% 1 month, guys. That is nothing but from 15th March to 31st March. Because they are liable to pay only in one installment, right? Yes, we learned it here. They have to pay it on or before 15th March only in one shot. Sir, what about 44 AE? Guys, if 44 AE assessee is covered and if he is liable to pay advance tax, for him, normal provision only is applicable, not one installment, 4 installments. Sir, interest also as per this? Yes, for that guy. 44 AE, goods carriage business. Yes, sir. This is all about TDS, TCS, and advance tax, guys.